Do you guys ever wonder what makes hooligans tick? I've always wondered, like, what's the point of getting so excited about some sport that you're not actually playing yourself? I mean, I understand supporting a team, but getting violent about it just seems way over the top. Apparently, though, this goes back centuries. People have been doing this forever. In fact, what I want to talk to you about today happens all the way back in the beginning of the 6th century. Okay, so first of all, let's talk about where it happens and give you a setting, all right? And let's get some aubergines. And these, by the way, are aubergines, not eggplants. So Constantinople is in the Eastern Roman Empire. Now, it's often people forget that at the fall of the Roman Empire, what we're talking about is the fall of the Western Roman Empire. There's a whole other half of the Roman Empire, which is the Eastern Roman Empire, which continues to go on and thrive all through the Middle Ages. I'd like to talk more about Constantinople and about this period. I love talking about the fall of the Roman Empire, so we'll have more videos about this kind of thing later along the line. But for now, all you need to know is that we are in Constantinople, and Constantinople is really thriving. It's a very cosmopolitan city, and it's really the place to be, okay? So, and very, very rich. Now, something which is really fashionable in both sides of the Roman Empire is chariot racing. Chariot racing is something that people love to go and watch. It's very exciting. And the fact that there's no human rights at this point makes it very, very violent. So all the more exciting for people to go and watch. Now, this would happen in these places called, and I'm not sure if I'm going to pronounce this right, hippodromes? Hippodromes. In Italian, it would be ippodromo. So I'm going to be going with ippodromo. Okay. So in these ippodromos, basically, there would be these big chariot races, and that would be like the main thing that you would go to see. But there would be a lot of things happening before that. So, for example, there would be people which would have trained wild animals and would have them do things. There would be fights between masked gladiators. Okay. And the hippodromo, the big hippodromo of Constantinople was massive. It was like 4 football fields big, okay? It could hold up till 100,000 people to go and watch these gigs, all right? Now, the people that would be participating in all these games belonged to teams. There were 4 teams in Constantinople, and it was really, really easy to remember the names because they were literally like the blue team, the white team, the red team, and the green team, all right? The white team and the red team are not really part of this story. We're going to be talking more about the blue and the green team. So these teams would participate in all the games, all right? So the animal training, the kind of like the gladiators, they all belong to these teams. And of course the chariot racing, which is the whole point why this is a ippodromo and it's that big, all right? Now, during this period, the Christianity was really starting out, all right? We were reading at the beginning of Christianity. So not all Christians had really agreed upon what Christianity was supposed to be and what were the rules and what, like, even just the theological points that we're all going to agree upon, no one was agreeing upon them quite yet, all right? So these oppositions between these factions were often also religious opposition and political opposition. In that time, like, religion and politics is basically the same thing. So often the people that supported these factions were also people that supported different ideologies within this. So it was a great excuse to fight other people that believed different things than you. And obviously then the fight would be brought from the ippodromo into the streets. And in the streets there would be a lot of like, well, basically killing each other and raiding during the night. It was becoming a big mess, okay? Now, Constantinople was being ruled at this point by Justinian and by his wife Theodora. In fact, fun fact about Theodora, she came from the lower class. Her father had been a bear trainer within the ippodromo, okay? So she's closely connected to this, and she is coming from poverty, essentially. In fact, we'll talk maybe about Theodora in another video. There was a lot of nasty things being said about her because of her kind of low extraction, let's say, or because of the fact that she came from a poorer background, let's say. Now, because of all this mess which is happening around these hooligans of Constantinople, essentially, you would think that the rulers would try to keep out of it and not choose and not make choices or preferences among the teams. But they did not do this. In fact, they supported the blue team. Now, this is weird because usually the blue team would be more like the poorer people, the people from the lower class, okay? But Theodora, coming from that class, she supported the blue team. And the blue team had also supported them in various political instances. So they were quite vocal and quite open about being on the side of the blue team. Now, this is weird because usually the upper class was the green team. So the green team is finding itself in a weird situation where usually they're the ones which are supported by the rulers, but in this instance they are not being supported by the rulers at all, and in fact the blue team, which is supposed to be the underdog, is being supported by the rulers. So the green team is not liking this at all, and so the fighting and the brawls which were happening between the blue team and the green team start getting out of hand, like big time. They start having massive fights, and it happens all through the night, and places are getting destroyed. It's just getting really, really bad. So at one point, Justinian says, and Theodora, because Justinian does just about nothing without Theodora. She's the one that wears the pants in this relationship. So he decides to take a stand and take the people which are considered the most rowdy people of either team, of the blue team and the green team, and basically have them hanged. So they get killed, yeah, like in front of everyone. So they basically take one for the team, essentially. Now, the blue team and the green team are not happy about this at Giacomo was telling me that I should be cutting the vegetables as well whilst I'm talking. So Giacomo's staying for lunch, so he wants me to get on with lunch too. So Giacomo's the one behind the camera, by the way. So we have the blues and the greens, which against all odds end up uniting against the rulers. The blues and the greens ends up putting up a united front, and this all comes to an end at the next games, the next chariot race, where everyone goes to the Ippodromo, and when Justinian and Theodora come out in front of everyone, and there should be cheers, there should be welcome, you know, to the rulers. Everyone starts shouting against them and booing and whistling, and they have to basically run away. The fight gets brought to the squares, and it goes on for days. I mean, the city is almost destroyed after this. Now, Justinian, he's like ready to leave. He packs up as much gold as he can carry, and he's making his way to the boat, and he's like, I'm leaving my kingdom, my empire, and I can't take this anymore. And Theodora is like, no, darling, we are not abandoning our position. We are quashing this rebellion. So, you know, pull your pants up and let's do this. Luckily for Justinian, he doesn't only have a kick-ass wife, but he also has two, come si chiamano? He didn't only have a kick-ass wife, but he had two kick-ass generals that were able to quash the rebellion. And by quash the rebellion, I mean kill 30,000 people. So that was it. That was the end of maybe one of the most violent instances of hooligans running wild in a city that I've been able to find. Do you guys have any better stories to tell me? Do you guys know of any even more dramatic cases of hooligans going wild? So I found this quite interesting, and I also found it interesting that people would go and watch chariot races. I mean, how does that work? You only see them going around once, don't you? Anyway, food for thought. I'm going to go back to cooking the rest of lunch for my family, and I'm going to see you next time. Remember to subscribe to this to see more videos, and thank you.